Safety. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, safety is the word of the day because I believe after an uptick in form, we are safe and we're not going to get relegated from the Premier League. Today will be the end of season conclusion. We got a game against Brighton who are fighting for their lives, and as long as we get a result, I don't see us getting caught. So let's go run that intro. Let's see how we go. Let's go through the data and let's talk about how we have managed to be safe in the Premier League. Yes, welcome back everybody. It is Damo. Thank you for being here yet again for the series. It's been doing amazingly well on the YouTube. We're getting a lot of engagement. Unfortunately though, 70 to 80% of you that are watching aren't subscribed. So if you could hit the button, really does help push the channel out. And leave a comment as well what you're doing for your FM26 save. I know on YouTube it's about episode 3's out and this is episode 10. So we're probably getting really close to the beta at this stage. With that being said, let's talk Data Hub first, right? The team performance is here. As you can see, in terms of actual goals scored, we are on 38 and a goal above where we should be. We're also 2 goals over our XGA, which is fine, and we're exactly on the total points where we could be. We are 2 positions in front, and I'm pretty happy. We actually convert a fair amount of set pieces, which is good. We're pretty passive in our shooting, and we've been a bit busy in the back, but recently, things have turned around. Since we last met, and after this obviously torrid run of form where we only won 3 games in a month and a half, in 3.5 months, maybe even 4 months, by the time you add in the Chelsea game. We obviously last episode beat Brentford, beat Leicester, drew the Wolves, which was fine. We then played Everton and we drew 1-1 in this game here at home. We played fairly well with the 4-4-2 attack. We did miss a penalty. We were the more dominant side. Kazuki Asari scoring from a McGuinness ball into the front stick from a corner to give us a point here against Everton, which is important. Kazuki Asari has been looking fantastic, more as a target forward than an advanced forward, so we have gone back to using a target forward for the second half of the year. We then got spurred on to play Spurs, but we went defensive in the 4-4-2 defensive, as you can see, and we lost 2-0, and the fans blamed us for changing system. Fine then, back to the 4-4-2, and boys, did we look good. We should have won this game by about 5 or 6, but the first 20 minutes that we put in against Leeds is the best 20 minutes of football we played all year. Anton and Kazuki Asari linking up, what a ball to Quadrado, and Pellegrini, who missed the penalty in his debut game, goes and slots that one to make it 1-0. And then it's Borza, it's Anton, it's McGuinness, what a ball through to Kazuki, and he finds Pellegrini at the back stick. And the big man, small man, even though they're both tall, doing the job there to make it 2. And then Pellegrini dropping in, McGuinness going on a run, and what a finish from our wonder kid winger. He can play in the middle of the park, he can play out wide, he can play anywhere, and he made it 3-0. Their goal was not important because who cares? We then played Fulham, and we played outrageous against Fulham, who were fighting for European football. 2 shots, 0 on target. We conceded a 97th minute own goal. Unfortunate. The one thing I did is we got to the late stages and we were the better side, but I decided to go defensive in the last 5 minutes to kind of eke out the draw. Only highlight they got, and they took it from us, which was unfortunate. Our disallowed goal, though, in this game, typical Stoke City, and hopefully something of things to come. Anton nearly getting his first goal here. He was offside, but you guys know why I'm showing you this. It's a long throw. And Babu, flick on from a 6'7" centre-back to a 6'2" centre defensive midfielder. Love to see the aerial present do its thing, but unfortunately it didn't go and, it didn't count. We then played Villa, who are also fighting for Europe, and we went 1-0 up through Quadrado, and then Mr. Lowe scoring another goal in the Premier League. We had injuries up front. Pellegrini was injured during this time, so we obviously had Lowe on the bench, and it's an Mbabu long throw into Bazzi. Bazzi's ball to Lowe at the front stick, and he's 6'5", and he heads home the youngster, and that's another goal for him in the Premier League, which is great. Nottingham Forest came and went. We won 1-0 in this game, being absolutely aggressive, and Kazuki Asari scoring a nice goal here from a Quadrado set piece. And this result here kind of was like, we're on a great run of fixture. We're not going to get relegated for me. Watson into Quadrado, what a ball, and he puts it in towards the front stick, and it falls to the target forward at the back stick. Brilliant. Lucky last game that we're going to recap here. We also played Burnley, and we dominated this one, and unfortunately, a 92nd minute. So we conceded 97th minute to Fulham to drop 3 points, or drop 2 points, and we conceded in the 92nd minute here to drop 3 points. But Corrado backstep ball, Pellegrini going back with the flight, well floated cross to our two big men in the box, and Pellegrini losing his marker and heading home. It was absolutely brilliant. So that's where we sit at the moment. We're on a great run of form, much better than when we went through this same run, which started the rot free here, which, as you can see, in this same run of fixtures basically above, we copped a 7-0 against Forest. We lost 3-2 to Villa. We lost 3-0 to Fulham. We lost 2-0 to Everton. We actually beat Spurs and Brighton, who were about to play, and West Ham. But because we went on a great run, we only lost a couple games, and one of them in the 97th minute to Fulham, we're in a pretty good spot to stay alive. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut into the highlights here of the Brighton game, and unless we lose, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be the last game I'll give you this season. We do have the beta coming out, so I'm trying to speed run this save. So what we'll do is we'll come back to the end of the season with some breakdown of the squad and what we're looking at as well. Speaking about breakdown of the squad, we made 2 quick changes to the attacking 4-4-2. Anton's now holding position, something I should have been doing from the start just to keep him there, and a box-to-box from Watson to help him get in and around the box when we are attacking, but also to get him on top of the 2 centre-backs when we're defending, going from box to box. So a slight change there for Watson as well. That has really helped us, to be fair. Those 2 changes kind of sparked our run and form. It really makes a lot of sense. But yeah, let's get into some highlights as you all look at how good McGuinness is growing. Time ticking away here. A very weird first half without a highlight, but 43rd minutes, the first highlight of the game. I was about to say we've had the better of the chances without seeing a highlight, but yeah, Cuadrado finds Mbabu. As we look to build out, the box-to-box dropping into those half spaces trying to help us, Anton and Konsa, and we knock it around. We do all right against teams that we're like level with, and then against the really good sides, we just struggle, which kind of how it goes when you're newly promoted. Anton's ball finds Pellegrini, and Cuadrado can beat people and whip. Ball in, Kazuki's a big boy, and that's 1-0. And that's what I love, is Cuadrado's finally just whipping the ball in the air, which he wasn't doing first half of the year, was all along the floor. And it's Kusu Asari. I say Kazuki, I don't know why. But Kusu Azari, Johan, with a big header at the back step beating still, and we lead 1-0 in a game that if we win, we would guarantee survival in my mind. Not mathematically, but in my mind. And as you can tell from the stats, we deserve this 1-0 lead. I was about to make a change for Cuadrado as we hit pause, but we'll see how Watson's free kick goes. He goes short to Borza. Don't like that personally. Would have loved to see it get chipped in the box, but that's fine. Jamie Lawrence, I should say. Mbabu. Borza, McGuinness, can he beat his man? Good stuff from McGuinness, and then cuts it back to Borza. Ball back deep. Pellegrini's there. Way on a header. The wing play system works, and this is what I like about the 4-4-2 in the more attacking sense. We have the defensive one, which we'll move into shortly to see this game out. But in the attacking system, we just get so many dangerous balls in the box, and we've got some good timber up the top. Pellegrini back stick. He's definitely playing for a contract, and I think we're going to offer him one at some stage. And we lead at 2-0. What a ball in from Borza. Matoma going on a run. We just moved into the defensive system here at 2-0. And Anton picks it up, looking for Amin, who just came in there for Pietro Pellegrini. Doesn't win. Falls back to Fred Kadoglu. Mbabu controlled it for him. Ball in. It's an own goal from Konsa. We move straight into the defensive system. We can see that's very unlike us. That's another own goal. We seem to be shooting ourselves in the foot at the moment. We're not conceding from open play too much, but we're scoring for the opposition, which is not what you want in football. Konsa probably didn't even need to touch it. Was going to get cleared by Jamie Lawrence there, but it is what it is. Highlight from kickoff. If they make it 2-2 after switching defensive, I will never go to the defensive system again in a game. Makes no sense. You 2-0 up, you have one of the best defenses in the league in terms of teams not converting their chances. But yeah, anyhow. Amini picks up the ball, goes on a run towards the back stick, finds Bassi, Madsen, Anton now. And we'll just look to set out our 4-4-2 shape again as Mbabu goes on a run, backstick ball to no one. And it might be a Brighton highlight here, which is not what we want to see from kickoff. The ball finds Weaver, picked off by Madsen, falls back to Weaver. I think FM has absolutely done us in for switching system. Matoma, Weaver, O'Reilly, hits the bar, still in play, headed away. Well, that close to conceding 2 goals in the space of a minute. Approaching full time, we've conceded late goals in this run in, but it doesn't look like we're conceding here The match momentum was top right, showing we even dominated in the defensive system, and we beat Brighton 2-1. This is a result that sees us probably get to safety with 40 points. Last year, 40 points was enough. 39 saw Bournemouth get relegated, which I think that's oddly high. I usually see 32 to 34 being safe in the Prem. But there we go. We have 20 days until our next game, which is West Ham. You guys don't need to see it because we're on the 40-point mark. Absolutely over the moon with that. And we're safe. It's good to be safe. Now it's just a question of where do we finish? 7th through to 10th is probably the highest we could get. I think if I'm going to make a prediction, we've got some hard runner fixtures. We're going to finish 14th or 15th here on about 44 points. But yeah, let's go see where we finish and break down the squad and go through the data hub and show you guys the areas that I think we need improvement in next season to make sure it is a mid-table finish, not some sort of relegation scrap. I just finished playing West Ham, and you know how I said like that Leeds 20 minutes was like the best 20 minutes we've had? This, hands down, was the best game I had. Bassi, who is the young winger we signed last episode, went in and started today over Quadrado, who has 3 months left on his deal, and spoiler alert, because of his age, I'm not looking to re-sign him. He's done his job. He kept me in the Prem, so no ill will. Just, yeah, I got someone like Bassi, who, as you're about to see, absolutely dominated this game. In terms of goals, Kazuri Azari scoring another brace. He has been instrumental in us staying up this season. Have a look at the goals that we score here. They are brilliant. It is pure wing play, and I can't wait to use this 4-4-2 week in, week out next season. Ball into the box, goes to the back stick, Bassiri puts it back in. It's a goal. It's pretty nice. We then go and find another highlight, which is pretty similar, but Anton with a great ball into this channel. Quick winger, first time lofted ball back stick, and Kazu Azari scores that one as well. And then we had a goal from Mbabu, which doesn't happen too often. Again, going down this side. And look, something to highlight of this system is, even though Mbabu is on a fullback on defend, I believe he wins the ball here and he just goes on a run by memory. Like, he's back here by memory in this one. No, he's here. Anyhow, a fullback, he still will go when possible. Yeah, he's still back here. So he drops off and then he gets the ball, and the fullback will still go even on defend, getting into the byline. In the end, it gets back to him because he sits top of the box. And instead of crossing, goes inside and finishes, which is quite nice to see. Bassi then scoring again in the second half. And it's just the speed of play and the movement is brilliant. Look at this header from Bassi at the back stick. 5'11" winger attacking the back stick like that. Great win for McGinnison, and Bosnijek off the bench did round out the route here of West Ham, who might be going down if they're doing this task. Great touch and finish from Bosnijek as well. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys just how well the attacking system can play. Look, we didn't have, 55, 60% possession, but we had 48% and absolutely made use of it. And against teams at home that we are even then, the system will outplay them. But yeah, we look fantastic. And I really wanted to highlight that before we get into the end of the season. Season has finished, everybody. And, well, it went fantastically. This attacking 4-4-2 has changed the whole season, and we play some fun football. More importantly, our wage is up to 950k per week and 89 million to spend. As you can see, that is a lot of money for us to spend, and a lot of payroll that we can move around with as well. In terms of the season and how it finished, we finished in 11th, jumping Burnley on the final day and only finishing a few points behind Manchester United. Since we last met, which was obviously the highlights just before against Brighton, we beat, and West Ham, obviously I showed you the goals. We drew to Liverpool 2-2, which was fantastic. Outrageous to draw away at Anfield in a very even game. The system is just very good, and Pietro Pellegrini, spoiler alert, 7 goals in 11 games. I did go and sign him on a free contract because he was out of contract. The main reason we loaded him to see how well we did. He's going to be up front next season. On top of that as well, we lost to Arsenal 3-0. We played a cracking game against Chelsea, which we lost 3-2 in a game that we were thoroughly in. And we did beat United 3-0 on the final day. We looked fantastic in this game. Pietro Pellegrini and McGuinness combining for a goal there. In terms of what we'll do now is we're going to break down the squad, and we'll also break down exactly what positions we need. I'm currently live on stream, so we're about to go on a massive scout to try to find some people. As you can see from our numbers here, should have finished 13th, finished 11th. We were okay from set pieces. We were decent in defensive numbers, as in we gave away a lot of chances, but we actually limit the opportunities of conversion rate to our opponents, which means a lot of long shots and a lot of crosses, which we're dealing with, and backstick headers and stuff. But yeah, we were okay. Low goal scoring, so, expected goals against per game compared to our actual goals probably highlights to our lack of quality. And we did play the defensive system for a lot, but second half of the year, we actually had more shots per game with a decent conversion rate. So really, this attacking 4-4-2 system is the way of the future for us. But what we'll do now is we'll cut away and come back with us breaking down exactly how the squad looks, what positions we need, and what we're going to be scouting for next episode. This is the squad and what it looks like, YouTube, for the next season. As per the first season, if you haven't watched that episode, I would explain what we're doing, is I pick what the starting 11 looks like, then I go through it and set up what would be my backup 11. And what I like to do is have one player for each position as a backup, so you could have a brand new starting 11 if you wanted to fully rotate. What I will say is, because we're looking to establish ourselves in the Prem, we're not going to have Europe. The cup competition, if you go on a run, players get tired, so be it. You just want to have lots of quality in your starting 11 and then fill out your bench of guys that can do a job and play multiple positions, like Nicholas Madsen, for instance, can play midfield, defensive midfielder for playing defensively minded, and then at centre-back, right? And we've got guys like that with like Anton, who, by the way, has been absolutely exceptional this season since coming in and is one of our best footballers. He's Uzbekistani international, by the way. Yeah, highly recommend him on your saves. He should be at Dortmund when you guys are there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through each player and what I want to see, right? Firstly, when you talk about Mbappe, you have to talk about Watson. I have tried 3 different times to get him to learn the long throw trait, right? And we're going to do it again. He has twice now not been able to do it, and this is the 3rd time we put it on. Well, 3 times he hasn't been able to do it. This is the 4th time we're putting it on. I don't understand how a guy with 19 long throws cannot develop the long throw trait, but it is a problem. Because my plan was Mbappe comes in while he learns it. He learns it first time around. He then takes the long throws. We have a midfielder that's going to be Rory Delap moving forward and is just our guy. Not the case. So we now have Mbappe at right back, who's not good enough to be the right back for us moving forward if we're going to progress the save. However, really good with long throws and does play the system. What we're probably going to do is we're going to need a player that has the bullet long throw trait that is good enough to be in the starting 11. Outside of that, Quance has been fantastic. He's developed pretty well. He's not had a great year, but will be a lot better next year. Jamie Lawrence has actually been really, really good as well, but hasn't had the most fantastic year. Apparently, he's better as a ball-playing defender. I don't see it as a centre-back, but cool. For the sake of the star ratings, we'll go to that and see whatever. It's fine. Right? Boers has developed really, really well. Been fantastic. We need a backup left-back because Creswell, wherever he is retiring at the end of the season. Cool. Now let's discuss midfielders. McGuinness is looking this good. I could play him at left back and play him at centre defensive mid, centre mid, play him up front, play him in the 10. Heck, I could even train him to play on the right-hand side as an inverted winger. He's fantastic. We're not going to do nothing else with him. He's a 17-year-old. He just had his 17th birthday. 3 goals, 8 assists in his first season in the Prem, and he's not even 18 yet. He's going to be really good. I have no qualms in McGuinness staying out at left wing. He's fantastic. Right? If you look at the midfield, Watson we discussed, Anton we discussed, I'm happy with both of them being the midfielder. God forbid Watson learns the long throw trait and then we don't have to worry about this. But maybe if we find a midfielder with the long throw trait, Watson could miss out. Right wing's where it gets interesting. Bassi has been fantastic, and second half of the year has been a revelation and he's developing quite nicely. However, I look at Bassi and I go, you're never going to be a world beater, but what you are is someone off the bench in the last 20 minutes with speed, determination, and dribbling ability, and he can whip in a ball. So with that, I want him to be my backup winger and in games coming in for a guy on the right. So you might be thinking, Damien, where's Quadrado? Quadrado, right, out of contract at the end of the season, don't know if we're going to renew it. So I went in to go and see what contract he would like. I'm not going to click on it. He wants to be the under-18s coach. And he wants to retire. So Quadrado is going to come in and be our 18s coach. And with that, Quadrado is going to retire. So we need a right winger. So straight away, we need a more defensively minded fullback that is of the level, right? And we need a right winger. By the way, Dean Henderson's been fantastic for us. He's been incredible. 6.87. Yeah, we conceded 42 goals, but he has been great. So I'm actually really happy with the centre-back and the left-back. Boers has been developing quite nicely too, for those wondering. Wonder Kid, 19. I absolutely love him. 15 caps from Romania. He's great. The midfield three here, not bad, with Watson probably being one we could upgrade on. And then obviously right wing being we could go for someone well made. As mentioned just previously, Pietro Pellegrini has come in, scored 7 goals in 11 appearances, 6'2", loves being as a target forward or an advanced forward. He's going to come in and play again for us next season. For us, what we want to do is play him next season, see if he develops. And if he does, great. And if he doesn't, he's going to be worth about 30 million. We can ship him off for some profit. But Pietro Pellegrini is someone I always look for in FM. He's fantastic. Yohan Kuza Azari, right? When I go to discuss with him, he doesn't have no interest in coming in to our football club on a permanent basis. However, what I will say is he's been fantastic, and in the happiness, he appreciates my position as a head coach. So what we hope is we've had a good enough relationship with him that when we put this bid in and buy and say yes, and we're going to do this live and hopefully buy and say yes here for 13.5 million, right? I am happy with all of that. We hope he's willing to talk to us. If he's not, it's sad, but if he is, we've got our front two for many seasons to come, and Kuzu Azari will be that guy because he's looked pretty good. Now, on the bench, our backup goalkeeper has interest, according from a Saudi club, would sell for 15 million or something. Mbappe on the bench, we actually need some backup defenders because as much as I would look at Ben Wilmot, he's not really of the level, and as much as I look at Ben Gibson, he ain't of the level. We need a backup left back because Krezel's retiring. Rigo's probably not good enough, so we're going to need a backup midfielder. Madsen's pretty good, could play multiple positions. Amin has had a decent year and probably is good enough to be a backup. That's fine. Bosnijek has had a really good year. 9 goals, 4 assists, and 34 is not bad for Bosnijek. However, he's worth 30 million. If a club comes sniffing around for 20 to 30 million, we will get rid of him. And then we have Nathan Lowe. He has 2 man of the matches, looks pretty good, 6'5", and is a big boy up front that can head a ball. As much as he doesn't have the potential, he's got the physicals to really dominate a game, so he will be in and around. We also got Manoff, who's not been great, but he's worth like 20 mil, and he's only 23. I think using Manoff as someone on the left-hand side as a backup to McGuinness is perfectly fine for another season if we get better quality on the bench. So what I'm saying is that, if we get a backup centre midfielder, if it is Watson starting, that is like 18, 19 with potential to develop, like Bassi, for instance. So when we look at the team, it depends on what happens with Yohan Kusi Azari in just a second, if he is coming or not, or we need a striker. We need a starting right winger that is really good and can be really dynamic, and we need a right back that is either really defensive or a crazily attacking right back that makes me go to Borza and say, mate, you're probably got to be more defensive even though you're looking really good. So we're going to continue on, and as I thought, he does not want to come in, which is annoying. So what we can do is go to loan, and they're not even going to talk to us. We're going to lose, unfortunately, Joanne, which is unfortunate. I'll monitor the situation and see if maybe we can talk to him again later, but it means we're going to need a striker. So, yeah, straight off the bat, I'll do that. And look, just for argument's sake, let's just put Lowe here because he can play the role really well. We're going to need a striker, a right wing, and a right back with depth off the bench, potentially young depth. So what we're going to do is we're going to scout the relegation teams in Brighton, Wolves, and Leicester for relegation release clauses. We're also going to go down to the Championship very quickly, right, where the playoff finals Southampton and Birmingham. So it's probably Southampton coming up. Middlesbrough and Norwich both fail to come up again. So, someone like Josh Sargent, who is 6'1" and can probably do a job, is probably worth a scout, right? And we'll go through some of the best players in the Championship. And then I'll go through the whole of Europe and scout, anyone that's playing under 21, who's playing first team football that's 21, 23 or younger, see if we find someone. But that's the team. That's the system we're taking to next season. Our goal is to finish 11th again, because the goal of the save is to make us an established Premier League club. We finish in and around mid-table again. In 3 seasons, we've done our job, and we can say the save is done. However, what I want to do is get through this next season really quickly, and hopefully give us a season 4 where we can look to maybe make Europe. Anyhow, That's the end of the episode. That's the end of season 2. Thank you for watching here, YouTube. As always, links down below to the Twitch where I'm currently live and the boys are watching on stream. So thanks to the lads, right? Give the episode a like. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new around here and you watch this long. There's going to be more FM26 content. The beta will be Watford. I still need to pick a non-league legend side. I'm going to have the playlist of this series on one side. I'm going to have our top 10 Twitch clips of all time. We are streaming also live on YouTube. So if you don't use Twitch, you can hit the notification bell for whenever I sporadically go live. With that being said, I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you very much, and we'll see you for episode 11, which will be season 3, with some transfers and seeing how we've improved this side.